I was away on a business trip, FaceTiming my wife every night. Same routine, same smile every time. But one night, as she walked away from the screen, I noticed something on my side of the bed, a Rolex wristwatch. Not mine. I didn't say a word. I just smiled, ended the call, and booked the next flight home. I didn't tell her. I used a spare key, walked in. Music was playing upstairs. Laughter. I started recording before I even touched the stairs. And when I opened the bedroom door, here's the thing about business trips. They're basically adult summer camp. Except instead of making friendship bracelets, you're making PowerPoint presentations that'll put people to sleep faster than Ambien. My name is Marcus Hale, and I've been doing this corporate circus for 8 years. That week, I was stuck in Boston for some fancy financial summit. The kind that promises to revolutionize synergistic market dynamics, whatever that means. 4 days sitting in conference rooms that smelled like stale coffee and broken dreams, listening to guys in $1,000 suits explaining why their company was the next big thing. Half of them couldn't balance their own checkbooks. But sure, tell me more about your disruptive blockchain solutions, Brad. The days were brutal. Panel after panel of finance bros all trying to out-alpha each other, while I just sat there, taking notes and wondering if this was really what I wanted to do with my life. But hey, the money was good. Somebody had to pay for the mortgage on our little slice of suburban paradise. No matter how boring these conferences got, no matter how late the networking dinners ran, I always FaceTimed Jasmine before bed. It was our thing. Our ritual, our slice of normal in the chaos of business travel. She'd be curled up on our couch, usually wearing one of my old college t-shirts, her dark hair falling in waves around her shoulders. God, she was beautiful. Still took my breath away after 5 years of marriage, which, according to every married guy I know, is either a miracle or I'm just delusional. Probably both. "How was your day, honey?" she'd ask. I'd launch into a story about whatever. Corporate nonsense I'd witnessed. She'd laugh at all the right moments, make those little sympathetic sounds when I complained about the hotel walls, or the guy next to me on the plane who apparently thought deodorant was optional. These calls were my anchor, man, my reminder that somewhere someone actually cared if I made it through another day of spreadsheets and small talk. Thursday night rolled around. I was beat. The summit was wrapping up. I'd survived 3 days of financial forecasting presentations that could have just been emails. I was in my hotel room, one of those generic business joints where everything's beige, and the art on the walls looks like it was bought in bulk from Paintings That Won't Offend Anyone, Inc. I flopped down on the bed, loosened my tie, and hit Jasmine's contact. The phone rang twice before her face filled my screen. Just like that, the stress started melting away. "There's my handsome businessman," she teased, smiling at the corners of her mouth. She was in our bedroom wearing my old Yankees t-shirt, the one with a hole near the left shoulder. "Hey, beautiful. Miss me yet?" "Desperately," she said, rolling her eyes the way she does when she misses me but won't admit it. She asked about my day. I told her about the summit. She laughed at my sarcasm, remembered all the stupid corporate speak that makes me want to bang my head against the wall. We talked for maybe 20 minutes about nothing and everything. She told me about some drama at her marketing firm. Our neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, who thinks squirrels are plotting against her bird feeder. She tried to make that pasta dish I like, and only slightly burned it this time. It was perfect, normal, exactly what I needed. Then she got up to grab some water from the kitchen. "Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back," she said, propping the phone up on our dresser. The screen tilted, giving me a different angle of our bedroom. That's when I saw it. Right there, on my side of the bed, on my nightstand, sitting pretty as you please. A Rolex. Not just any Rolex, a flashy submariner. The kind that costs more than most people make in 6 months. Now, I've got decent taste in watches. I wear a simple Seiko that keeps perfect time and doesn't scream, "Look at me." But this was pure show-off material. Too flashy, too new, and way too not mine. My brain started scrambling. Maybe she bought it for me? No, she would have mentioned it. Maybe it was a gift from her company? Right, because marketing firms just hand out Rolexes. Maybe it belonged to her brother, who lives in Seattle and wears a Fitbit he got from Costco. The cold truth hit me like a bucket of ice water. Someone else had been in our bedroom. Someone who could afford to casually leave a $20,000 watch on the nightstand like it was loose change. Jasmine came back on screen, settled onto the bed, totally oblivious to the bomb that had just gone off in my chest. "So, tomorrow's your last day, right?" she asked, voice as sweet and normal as ever. "What time's your flight to Chicago?" Chicago, right. I had another conference lined up. She knew my schedule better than I did. "Early afternoon," I managed to say, my voice steady. "Looking forward to coming home, though." She smiled that smile that used to make my knees weak. Now it just made me sick. "I can't wait to have you back. I miss you." The lies came so easily to her, so naturally. We talked for a few more minutes, but I wasn't really there. I was just going through the motions, laughing at the right moments, all while that watch burned into my retinas like a neon sign. "Your wife is cheating on you." "I love you," she said as we hung up. "Love you too," I replied automatically. Then the screen went black, and I was left in my hotel room with the biggest revelation of my life. I didn't scream. I didn't throw the phone. I didn't punch the wall or do anything dramatic. I just stared at my reflection in the black screen for a long moment. Then I opened my laptop. Flight change fee, $200, worth every penny. First flight home, 6 a.m. I was going to get some answers. You know what's funny about lies? They're like cheap cologne. The person wearing them thinks they smell great, but everyone else knows something stinks. Jasmine thought I was jetting off to Chicago. She even texted me at 5 a.m. with a cute, "Safe travels, baby, kill it in Chicago" message, probably sent, before rolling over to, well, let's just say I had a pretty good idea who was keeping my side of the bed warm. But here's the thing about being a financial analyst. You get good at reading between the lines. Right now, all signs pointed to my wife being about as faithful as a politician during election season. Instead of heading to O'Hare, I was on Delta Flight 447 back to Hartford, nursing a coffee that tasted like gym socks and staring out the window at mocking clouds. The flight attendant kept asking if I was okay. Apparently, I looked like a guy who just discovered his favorite pizza place was putting pineapple on everything. The whole flight, I couldn't stop thinking about that damn watch. It was burned into my brain. A Rolex Submariner, probably. The 11666 Puente LN model. Black dial, ceramic bezel, worth about 20 grand. The kind of timepiece that says, "I have arrived," or more accurately, "I have arrived in your wife's bedroom while you're out of town." I'd screenshotted the FaceTime call before the image disappeared. Yeah, I'm that guy now. The husband taking screenshots of his own bedroom like some kind of digital detective. The plane touched down at 10:23 a.m. I felt like I was in a movie, walking in slow motion toward some life-changing confrontation. Except instead of dramatic music, there were babies crying and a guy explaining his crypto investments loudly into his phone. I grabbed a cab. The driver was this older Lebanese guy named Samir, who had opinions about everything. "You look like someone stole your lunch money," he said. "Something like that," I replied. "Woman troubles." He shrugged. "The gut never lies. Trust your gut." I had him drop me 2 blocks from my house. Call it paranoia, call it strategy. I wanted to approach the situation like the Spanish Inquisition. Unexpected and thorough. The house looked exactly the same. As always. White colonial, black shutters, rose bushes Jasmine had planted last spring. I stood there, key ring in hand, feeling like I was about to open Pandora's box. Once I walked through that door, there was no going back. The spare key was still hidden in the propane grill. I let myself in through the back door, as quietly as possible. The house felt different. Maybe that was just me, trying not to hyperventilate. Everything looked normal. Kitchen was clean, cleaner than usual, actually. That should have been my first red flag. I moved through the house, noting details I'd never paid attention to before. New candles, fresh flowers in a vase, good wine glasses drying by the sink, the ones we only used for special occasions. Apparently, adultery qualified. I made my way upstairs. Each step on the hardwood creaked like it was announcing my presence. The bedroom door was open. Sunlight streamed through the windows. The bed was perfectly made. Jasmine never made the bed that well. And there on my nightstand was the empty space where that Rolex had been just 12 hours ago. Standing in my own bedroom, staring at the empty nightstand, I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and forget why you came in? This was like that, except I knew exactly why I shouldn't be there. I checked the time. 12:03 p.m. If Jasmine stuck to her routine, she'd be home for lunch in about 10 minutes, probably with takeout from that. Thai place she loved and I tolerated. But then I heard it. Music. Not just any music,